All right, so we're gonna see how this works. Yeah, it is late. It's late, so yeah, not terrible. We're gonna put this, there we go, down to the bottom because we don't need that. So, okay. Anyway, I wanted to share today, this is one of the coolest things I've ever made. And it is a segment that you will see repeatedly over and over again. Um, and yeah, pardon me, I'm dissociating right now, so I'm having a really hard time kind of keeping it together. And I'm going to try anyway because I really want this video up today. And I feel like there's little to no reason why it shouldn't be up today, even though I am starting super late. So for those of you who don't know who I am Aradia. I'm a resident witch and creatrix over to Aradia's Hand and Danae's Divine, where I create myth, magic, and meaning for your everyday life through art, intuition, and energy work. And this is one of my famous potluck posts. And my potluck posts are usually relegated to my $5 and up tier over on my Patreon. But for the entire month of October and November, I decided to make all of my posts public because I wanted to share things with people as much as possible. So there's that. This particular one is about something, the coolest thing I ever made, which is partially, you know, a nod to the best thing I ever ate, a segment on Food Network, but also a prompt that I got inspired by from someone else. So for for today's, we're talking about my, it's a special custom ordered pair of house slippers, and I named them Anchors Away, and part of that is because of the person they were for. Her partner is in the Marine Corps, and so the whole marine reference there, but also she loved the beach and anything relating to the sea and the ocean and everything like that. So it was all went together really nicely. These were actually requested directly. We're no longer colleagues, but at the time we were. And so, and of course, let me just preface this with all, if you'd like a more succinct, more gathered together version of this, then stop the video, scroll down to the post, check out the pictures, read the text, and you can also, there's some links that I'll mention a little later. So what I like most about these is there was a nice little fade to the sole. So I don't know that you can see this, but there's this strap here that's part of the design. I've got a button, and this right here, this upper part of the shoe is called, it's called the vamp. And then there's this portion between the vamp and the sole where you're changing the direction of the stitches so that you have a flat surface on the bottom. And what I like to do with those portions is I like to fade from the sole into the color that the rest of the slipper is going to be, because I think that's super fun. And so that's one of my favorite things about this. Let's see. Also, I love this fucking button. This is one of my vintage buttons that I inherited from my grandmother who used to sew. And I have a lot of stuff like that where I was able to get some pieces that are no longer made, no longer available. And so that was super, super cool. Now I'll show you some other pictures of it. So this, both of them together, you can see more of the fade here at the bottom of the toe. And this is the inside, this is the sole. And I really like the strap. The strap is really cute. There's a whole, all of them on the other side. And usually you don't see them on these. At this point, I put a little, my butterfly tags on the back of the sole, or the back of the shoe, the heel. This is a close-up, so this is the, you see the bottom of the picture, the gray, that is the sole, and it morphs up into the vamp, and so there's this little kind of crossover, which is a fun little detail. And last picture is those. So then you get to see both how they look. And it's all so yay. So I got a funny story about this button though. So let's go back and check out that button. Whoa. All right, so this button right here. The funny thing about this is when I was making these, I had this very specific button in mind, and I was like, oh my gosh, that'll be perfect. And I searched through my stash for like ever, it felt like, and could not find the button. Turns out the button I'm looking for doesn't exist at all. At least it's not existed in my stash, and it never has. I had in my mind taken two completely different buttons and visually in my memory smashed them together to make a third button. It does not exist. And so I spent an inordinate amount of time looking for this third button, this elusive third button. And it was funny when I realized what I had done, because I saw elements of it on this button, I saw elements on it of it on another, and I was so confused. And then it finally dawned on me, like, no, that's not a real thing. I was like, oh, holy shit. So there you go. Ha 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 ha. A little funny story for me. Now, these were custom ordered, so they were sold immediately prior to being made. But right now I use the pictures as a sample among my custom ordered listings that I've got on my shop. And if you want to see all of these pictures and get a good look at them, you can scroll below to the post, and they're all included there. I've also got links to the two different versions of these slippers that I offer. So I use two different yarns, and to not give up more than one picture per listing, and because the yarns are different prices, I've got two completely different listings just to account for the two different yarns. And those are available in the store. And I also happen to have one pair made right now. It's a simpler pair. They're called Lilac Lady. And so they're a lovely lavender and fern color. And for ease of gandering, I've included a picture in the post below. Now, if you are watching this on YouTube, you will not see any of those pictures. You will need to go to the link right at the top of the description, and I'll send you over to the Patreon post so you can see it there. And walnuts. Yeah, I think that's everything. I think that's everything. So I love these. The house slippers, they're the Oma house slippers is the pattern. The designer I'm completely blanking on right now, but she makes a lot of cute patterns, and I have a number of them. And I actually don't have a pair of these for myself yet. I might end up making myself a pair here soon. There's a variation in which you can put soles on them, like with jute or with other materials. And so I'm probably going to do a set like that so that I can, you know, hop out of the house to the mailbox wearing them, because they are really cute and comfortable. So that's fun. And I'm probably going to do the pair up that I make extra fancy, because I'm a weirdo and I'm extra. And I can pretty much. But yeah, so if you like this video, like, subscribe if you're on YouTube, become a patron if you're watching this on Patreon. If you've got any comments, questions, or concerns, you can drop them in the comment box below. I love hearing from everyone, and I read all of the comments. So yay! But also, if you want to find me online, you can find both of my websites linked in the post below, in the description box below, as well as all of my active social media. And yep, that's pretty much it. So thanks for joining me. Tomorrow we're supposed to do a stash cast, I think. Yeah, and I'm not sure what it is of, but if you give me a minute, I can look it up. Because that's your reward. That's your reward for watching the whole video, is you get a heads up on what the next video is going to be about. Let's see, the 17th. I can think. Oh, we're going to talk about crystals. Fun. So a stash cast on my crystal collection, which is not as hefty as I would like it to be, but that's probably fine too. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here, hanging out, appreciating my work, interacting, and I will see you, hopefully, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed tomorrow. All right, that is a wrap.